Hello and welcome to Simple as That. I'm Andrea Keesee and today we're going to be making photo collage letters. These make great gift items, and since it's the Christmas season and sometimes some people can be very difficult to figure out what to get them for Christmas, like parents or grandparents. And so this is a really fun, very personal way that you can make a gift for your family member, and they will enjoy it and love it because it's very personal with your pictures. So what I'm going to go through today is the process of how to make these and some of the different supplies that you're going to need. And I'm also going to talk about different letter types and prepping those letters for your project. All right, so let's get started. All right, so this is the L, and we have an O, and we're going to spell out love. And I have these, each letter is kind of in a different phase of our project. And so this is the one we're going to work on today. I'm going to get my board here to protect my counter. And here are some of the products that you're going to use. So Mod Podge is a product that we will use to glue the photos down, and then we'll also use it as a cover, and it kind of gives it a glossy sheen. You're going to want a scissors, an X-Acto knife, a couple of brushes will be handy, especially if you're going to paint your letters black first. You'll want a brush for your black and then a brush for your Mod Podge. A handy metal ruler is really handy, and the reason for that is if you use a wooden ruler or a plastic ruler, your X-Acto can cut into it, so a metal ruler is really nice. You're going to want to have some Sharpies, especially if you're going to use black paint. Otherwise, you can get like a corresponding Sharpie color, like if you wanted to paint your letters aqua, you could get an aqua Sharpie, and I'll show you what we're going to use that for here in a moment. Always have a few extra X-Acto knife blades on hand, and then of course I did not use spray paint on my letters. The letters I'm using are a cardboard letter, but you could spray paint your letters instead if you were using a wood letter or metal letter. So, and this is the paint that I'm using today on my cardboard letters, and it's really easy to apply, and I kind of wanted to, I didn't want it to be really thick. I wanted to be able to see some of the natural cardboard through it. So it almost looks like a black stain instead of opaque. All right, so we're going to get started, and we're going to talk about letters. And there are different types of letters. I found this at Hobby Lobby, and these are, like I said, they're really lightweight, so if you hang them on the wall, you don't have to worry about them being falling down or anything, but they're easier to secure. You can use just the 3M strips and use those and stick them to the wall instead of having to nail them to the wall. So, and they're really easy to paint and prep before you put your pictures on. Here I have, this is kind of a particle board letter, and these are already pre-painted, but I would, if you wanted to change the color of it, you could do that and make them aqua, or you could kind of stain them aqua or gold or silver, whatever you want to do for your home. And then these are some old letters that are already painted that I had in my son's room. And I had actually seen on Pinterest the idea to do this project, and they had taken their daughter's name, and it was actually for her graduation, and they had photo collaged all pictures from all of her school days on her name. And I thought that was a really neat idea. And so I've actually kept, these were in his baby room, and I never threw them out, but I thought that would be something that I could do later on. But since they're painted, I might want to treat them or sand them or rough them up a little bit. You might not have to do that, but just to make sure that everything sticks really well, you might want to do that with the painted letters. All right, so we're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to get started laying out some photographs, and we'll talk about photos and getting these laid out onto the letters.
Western Auction and Real Estate LLC is ready to travel to you. Their team includes auctioneers and real estate specialists that will exceed your expectations. They offer experience in agriculture real estate, commercial and residential sales, and farm equipment auctions. Plus, they conveniently travel to your location. And it doesn't stop there. Visit westernauctionandrealestate.com today to shop their online equipment auctions too. For professionalism from concept to completion, it's Western Auction and Real Estate.
Hi?
We're looking for insurance.
Oh, let's see who's free.
Jerry?
When insurance agents work for only one company,
Michael!
their options are simply limited.
Everybody!
But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you. Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
The easiest way for you to get anywhere in the country is the Hayes Regional Airport. Twice daily flights between Hayes and Denver means you are only 45 minutes from over 100 direct flights to get you to your destination as quick as possible. Service from SkyWest has completely changed the flight experience out of Hayes thanks to the 50-passenger jets that include complimentary beverages and an in-flight restroom. With free parking and short security lines, there has never been a better time to use the Hayes Regional Airport. The next time you travel, check Hayes first at flyhays.com to see the time and money you could save.
All right, welcome back. We are going to talk about photographs right now. Here are some things that I learned looking at different projects that others had done. So how many people have phones and they constantly are taking pictures with their cell phones, their smartphones? So that's what that's where these photographs all came from. And that was, you know, you have selfies, you have just fun pictures of family, just hanging out, and so I wanted these pictures to be kind of fun and just spontaneous. I didn't really want them to be portrait style. And something else that I learned while doing this is not to use an inkjet printer when you print your photographs. You want to see if you can go and make black and white copies of photos you already have, or you can print on a laser printer in black and white. That works really well as you're using Mod Podge and you're painting over the top of the photographs. If you use like an inkjet printer or something like that, the Mod Podge will smear some of the color and then it's not as clean, and I don't think you'll really like that. And especially sometimes when you print on an inkjet printer and you print black and white, it still is a blend of CMYK, and so you won't be happy with those results. So I really recommend a black and white laser, or if you want to, you can order your prints online from a photo company, and those will work great too. And a lot of times you can get 1-cent prints, and you can upload all of the photos that you want to use from your cell phone to like Shutterfly or Snapfish or a service bureau, or even send them directly to Walmart or Walgreens, places like that. Or if you have a local kiosk in your community that you can use, you can do that as well. So that's kind of about the photographs. And like I said, you're just really making something very personal for a loved one, possibly as a gift, or for yourself. This has been a really fun project for me. The pictures just bring back memories, and as you're working on the project, you just think of the things that you're doing in those pictures. So we're going to work on the E, the final letter, and basically the first thing I did is I took this paint and I took a paintbrush, and I have learned that if you want to save your paintbrushes from drying out really fast, because you might want to use them to touch up later, just grab a Ziploc bag and throw a little bit of water in it, and then it will keep longer until you're for sure done with your project. So I used a brush, and I just brush stroked just around the edges, and I didn't need to paint on this surface or the back. And then when you get your photos, there'll probably be a white background around each photograph, and so you're going to want to trim. And you can, if you're a scrapbooker and you have a photo trimmer, you can use that. You can just use your good old scissors. You can use your X-Acto knife, but really these don't have to be super perfect because it is a collage. So you just want to trim out these pictures, and then you're also going to cut them after you get them on your, so you can start with kind of figuring out where you want your picture, and then you're going to overlap somewhat. And again, like I said, you'll want to cut off the white, any white that shows around the edges. And something else that I have found that's really kind of cool is you don't have to use really thick paper. If you're going to print them yourself on a laser printer or a copier, if you're going to make copies, it doesn't have to be really thick paper. Mod Podge works really well with just your standard copy paper. It might ripple or wrinkle a little bit during the process. I did have some cardstock, so mine is on a little bit thicker paper, but like I said, you can get away with just using your standard paper. So we're just going to keep going and trim these out a little bit. And you're just going to keep trimming and placing until they're exactly where you want them to be. Now here's a funny fact. Some of these pictures of my family I took off of their Facebook pages. So if you wanted to, you could, if you want pictures of your family and you don't know and you don't have a lot of pictures of your family, but you know you've seen their photographs on Facebook, you can go and steal those pictures from their Facebook page. Literally stealing, yes, I'm saying it. But then you have, that way I wanted pictures of my whole family. My husband Dennis's family and my family, I wanted it to be all about all of us. And so, like I said, I'm going to continue to keep putting these down. Trimming and placing until I get them all on here. And then once we have them all here, get these last ones on. Okay, so we have them all placed, and once we have them where we want them, we're going to go back with our Mod Podge. So what I'm going to do is show you what about that process. So if you look here, we know that this is the very back one, so I'm going to set these ones aside and pull that one down. And you just take your Mod Podge, and it looks like Elmer's glue. It's very similar. It kind of smells like Elmer's glue a little bit. And we're just going to paint this on the cardboard letter. And then I like to paint a little bit on the back of the picture as well. And we're just going to start placing these. Gluing them down. And then you can kind of paint around the edge to make sure that the edge is kind of stuck down. Okay, got that. Now we're going to paint this one over here. This stuff dries really fast. So this is the part where you kind of speed through it. And you can kind of fill on the back about where you want, because you don't want to cut off any people. And you want to paint little bits at a time. Like I said, you don't want to paint your whole letter and then try to put your pictures down, because you will have dry spots all over, and then you won't be able to finish your projects. This way works a lot better, because all right, so now you can see how to do that process. I'm going to set this aside and I'll finish that after a bit. Here's one that I already have done, and so you can see I've just layered them, and this is pretty much all dry now. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to trim around the outside. And the easiest way I have found to do it is that you just reverse it. So just flip your letter over and lay it down, and it's dry, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to set this aside, and I have a plastic bag here with a little bit of water in it, and I'm just going to put that brush that I just used in it so it doesn't dry out. And here we're going to use our X-Acto knife. And so if you'll look here, I'm just going to follow along. Make sure your X-Acto knife is tight. There we go. I could feel it slipping, so we're just going to follow down along the edge. And then you can see you have a nice clean edge, and you can see that V is revealing itself. And we'll go to the top. We'll do this inside. Now something, when I was at Hobby Lobby, there were so many different choices for letters. It was almost overwhelming. And I saw these wooden ones, and the reason I really like these, because it gave me a choice. I could stand them up, or I could hang them on the wall. And they're lightweight. They were inexpensive. This project total will be under, for all 4 letters, the photographs, and I already had the Mod Podge, didn't have to buy that. But that's about, this bottle is about a $10 bottle. So, and I will hardly use any of it. So it's something that you will have on hand for your next project. So that being said, you could do this project for under $60 for 4 letters. So if you think about it, if you wanted to do like joy or even just a single letter, you could do a single letter for under $20. And what a great gift that is. Okay, so now you can kind of see it coming together. I have a couple places that I think I'm gonna just cut that top. There we go. All right, so there the V is. Okay, so what we have a Sharpie for is, if you look along the edges, you can kind of see the white from the photographs. And something that I like to do is just use a Sharpie and turn those white edges black. And you can see that I've already done that on this one. So we're going to go to break now, and after we come back, I'm going to show you how to put the black all the way around the edges and do a little touch-up. And then we're going to put a final coat of Mod Podge over the top of these photographs. And we'll do that with this one as well. And we'll finish up the project.
If you could, what would you have in your kitchen? The quietest dishwasher? Sure. A big 28 cubic foot refrigerator? Oh yeah. A true convection wall oven? Check. You'll find Frigidaire Professional Kitchen Appliances at Genuine Appliance in Hayes. They have all that, plus real stainless steel for fewer fingerprints and smudges. Frigidaire at Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th in Hayes. Your dream kitchen doesn't have to be a dream anymore.
Make moving and storing your home or business easy with Storage Solutions of Hayes and Victoria. With 2 facilities, they can store anything from antiques to automobiles and everything in between. Interior units for items needing special care. Drive-up units of all sizes, perfect for home or business. And outside storage for trucks, boats, and RVs. As an authorized U-Haul dealer, they have everything for your next move, across town or across the country. Storage solutions of Hayes and Victoria, making moving and storing easy.
The Rusty Tractor in Kensington offers big city dining with a small town feel. The Rusty Tractor features hand-cut steaks, burgers, wraps, and more, all with generous portions and quality products. The Rusty Tractor is proud to serve the area farming communities and welcomes everyone. Come as you are in your boots and jeans. You'll be right at home. Open daily and conveniently located on Highway 36. For more information, find them on Facebook, or for a full menu, visit rustytractorkensington.com.
Okay, we're back now, and I have the O, and I have actually already taken the Sharpie and cleaned up the edges a little bit, and I can it's nice and dry. So I'm gonna go back to the V, and I'm gonna just show you just how easy it is. And you don't have to do this. If you like the white edge, that's fine too. You can leave that. I like it to be a little bit more blended, and so I wanted to get rid of that white edge. So we're going to run the Sharpie all along that edge, just like we did. I did it on the L, and once we get this done, then we're going to paint the Mod Podge over the top of the letters. And it actually gives kind of a sharp finish, makes it shiny, and finishes the photos, keep them from fading in the sunlight. And we're just finishing up. Okay, now I'll start with the O. So we have our brush again. And now I have actually a larger brush I'm going to use. It's just slightly larger, and the bristles are just a little bit more loose. And we're just going to apply generously over the top of your pictures. And this will dry clear. It seals them. Now this would be a great project for kids to do. They wanted to make a gift, or even like 4-H kids who go and take a lot of photographs, and then they usually only enter one photograph. They could do this as an arts and crafts project and use all the photos, kind of the outtakes of the photos that they take over the year. And that would be kind of fun. You could do this with senior pictures. All right, that one is done. We'll get this one going. Or if your family has recently had their photos taken professionally, you could do that with these. Make a letter with those, or you could do still lifes or vacation. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you get it around the edge, because like I said, it'll dry clear. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to the L, and if you'll notice, the bottom isn't painted. So I did that for a reason, because I wanted you to see how kind of to finish the project and just make sure that it's exactly how you want it to be, and do some touch-ups at the end. So when we come back, we'll do some touch-ups and finish out the project, and you can see how the love all came together.
Your house is more than just a house. It's a home for your family to grow. It's a place where you feel the most comfortable and can be yourself. Shop at Paul's Furniture Company in Selden so your family can select the perfect pieces for all the rooms in your house. With over 17,000 square feet of selection, they are sure to have the styles that will please everyone, even the kids. Visit Paul's Furniture Company in Selden, where they'll help you feel at home. Visit us online at paulsfurnitureco.com.
Coming home for the holidays is special. Seeing loved ones, spending time with family and friends makes memories that last a lifetime. And we know some can't be home for the holidays, so we're helping you make this holiday season extra special. Give the ones you love the gift that helps you stay in touch all year round. If you activate a new smartphone with Nex-Tech Wireless, we'll gift you free service until 2018. With Nex-Tech Wireless, you're never far from home.
Norton County Hospital would like to welcome Dr. Greg Serene to the community. Dr. Serene is a board-certified surgeon and trained in sports medicine. His practice will focus on knee injuries, joint replacements, and general orthopedics. Dr. Serene has been practicing for over 20 years and looks forward to providing orthopedic care to Norton and the surrounding communities. The Norton County Hospital, dedicated to caring, commitment, and community.
Okay, so I got all of the Mod Podge put on over the tops of all of them. And so now we're in the final stages of just making sure that they're exactly right so that you can get them on the walls. So if I look at my L, I dried them standing up. So the bottom of my L still needs to be painted. And so what I'm gonna do is I saved my paintbrush in my, okay, so we'll just shake off and set that aside. And we're going to use the same paint that I used on the others, and we are going to just put a little bit on the bottom. And finish out that. And like I said, I don't mind that you can see a little bit of the cardboard through. It's almost kind of like a stain. And if you see any other places that you feel like you want to touch up, maybe the corners a little bit, feel free to go back over. And then you'll just want to let that dry, laying down. And once you're finished, then since these are pretty much all they need to do is dry, do a little more touching up, and then we can put it on the wall. And I would just use like the 3M command strips and hang these on the wall, and that way you don't have to, since the backs are just cardboard, the 3M command strips will stick really nice to that. They're lightweight, so then you can position and reposition fairly easy. If you're going to use wood ones, I would probably, like these have little holes in the back, and these are lightweight as well, and you could probably go ahead and just use command strips. But heavier metal letters, or even, like a heavier wood, I would probably either use nails or the extra large command strips to hang those on the wall. Thank you for checking in with us on Simple as That. You will be able to find the instructions for these on our Pinterest page, and please follow us on Instagram regularly on Nex-Tech Local 1. We like to keep you updated on all our shows that we feature on your Nex-Tech Local 1 channel. Have a great day.